Sadaqallahu al-Azim. Brothers and sisters, let me say a few words to acquaint you with the debate. Is it of a recent time, or it goes back to the history? In the early history of Islam, there is something that happened like that. If it is not a debate between two scholars, it was in literature. It started in the Abbasid time, the Abbasid Caliphate. Some of our brothers, the Christian, the monk, wrote something in a form of a question and answer, saying, teaching the Christians how to answer the Muslims and how to put question to them. Someone took that up. For example, Al-Ghazali took that up and wrote something about Christianity. It was an essay, a small paper written about refuting the questions of the missionaries and the monks, or replying them. Someone after Al-Ghazali took it in a large way, in extensive studies. We can read, for example, Al-Milal wal-Nahal, written by Ibn Hazm. He spoke, or he discussed this matter in a full length, and intellectually it is so difficult for us, unless we are scholars in Christianity, it is difficult, because Ibn Hazm tried his best to philosophize the matter and put it in a rational base. Also, Ibn Taymiyyah took the matter up and spoke about Christianity, refuting or answering the questions brought by the monks and the missionaries. He has a book by name Al-Jawab al-Sahih liman baddala din al-Masih, the right answer for those who altered the Christian religion, and so on. Up in our time even, Sheikh Rahmatullah al-Hindi met the missionaries in India, and he stood against the tide of missionaries, and he has a book by name Izharul Haq, which is considered as a source, the main source for us now to debate or to know something about Christianity. I know that a lot of literature was written about this subject, but we didn't attend. When we read that, oh, it is something rational things and so and so, but to attend, it is myself. If I say so, it is myself. I never attend a debate between two gigantic people, scholars in Christianity, to debate with each other. I know that we are not here to score points or to try to convert each other, but we want to present Islam in a right form. Islam in the West is and still misunderstood. When we say that is our attitude towards Jesus, it doesn't mean that we are condemning Christianity or we are refuting Christianity, but we are saying that is our attitude towards Christianity. And what Islam is, to show our brothers here in the West and in America what Islam is, and to come to understanding, to create some harmony. Because when we understand each other religion, we will understand each other, we will come together, we will mitigate the gap between what sometimes some vested interested people create some disharmony, enmity between the two religions. They are benefited by that. What we are trying to do now is to mitigate the gap between Muslims and Christianity, and to create some harmony between Muslims and Christians according to the Holy Quran, because you know that the Holy Quran, the nearest people of the book to Muslims are the Christians. That is stated in the Holy Quran. So we are trying to fulfill that and to create that bridge to come together. And our scholars, of course, they will speak intellectually. I am sure that we may miss or we may misunderstand. So if you have any doubt, if you have any misunderstanding, there will be a time for questions to clarify all what is said, all what misunderstood, and it will be given to you to ask all of them. Now, I'm not going to talk anymore, but I'll ask our Gamal Badawi, Dr. Gamal Badawi, to introduce the speakers, and you will enjoy that talk and this discussion. Thank you.
All grace is due to Allah, Creator and Cherisher of the universe, and may His peace and blessing be upon Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and upon all prophets who preceded him in history. I greet you with the Islamic greeting, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, which means, may the peace and blessing of Allah, the Creator, be upon you all. It is indeed a welcome opportunity that we meet together this evening in order to hear a Christian perspective and a Muslim perspective about the topic, was Jesus, peace be upon him, crucified? The organizers of this function suggested that since a good number of our fellow Christians may not be totally familiar with Islam as understood by Muslims, I was requested to include a few minutes, very few minutes hopefully, by way of clarification of the term Islam at least. The term Islam comes from an Arabic root which denotes peace and submission. Put together, Islam simply means peace through submission to the will of the Creator, to Allah. A comment on both words, peace and submission. When we speak about peace, we speak about, above all, peace with Allah, the Creator, peace with oneself, the certitude, the confidence, the tranquility resulting from believing in the Creator, and as a result, it would achieve, hopefully, peace with other human beings and peace with the universe and environment in which we live. The word submission means conscious, trusting, and loving submission to the will of the Creator, receiving His guidance and accepting His grace. According to the Quran, Islam, defined as such in this generic meaning, was the essence of the mission of all prophets and messengers throughout human history. The differences and problems that we find today among those quote-unquote followers of these messengers and prophets may result at times from the misunderstanding or misinterpretation of the nature and mission of their prophets, or it could result also from the lack of commitment on the part of those who claim to follow Jesus or Muhammad, peace be upon them, but not to try to implement the teaching taught by those two giants in their lives. And as such, we can never evaluate a religion or faith by the action of those who claim to belong to it, but rather to evaluate those who claim to belong to any faith according to the standards of that faith, according to the authentic teaching by the great prophets of those ways of life, or faith, I should say. Among many of the prophets who are mentioned in the Quran, 5 are singled out as the greatest. They are called in the Quran Ulul Azm, the greatest, and those with great perseverance and determination. And these include Prophet Noah, Abraham, Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad. May the peace and blessing of Allah be upon them all. Indeed, a prerequisite for a Muslim to be a Muslim is to believe in, respect, and love all of these prophets who are regarded as brothers in the path of Allah, in the path of obedience and commitment of our entire life to His will. And as Jesus, peace be upon him, is mentioned as one of the greatest 5, it might be suitable to make a comment here that his name and his mission and various aspects about him appear in numerous surahs, quote-unquote chapter, in the Quran, Indeed, one of the surahs or chapters in the Quran takes its name after the name of Mary, the mother of Jesus, peace be upon him. It's called Surah Maryam, the surah of Mary, and its number in the chronology of the Quran is 19. Now, while Muslims and Christians do differ, and we should make the point clear, do differ on the issue of divinity attributed to Prophet Jesus, peace be upon him, and while they differ also on the issue of crucifixion, whether it happened, what the meaning of it is, even if it happened, what significance really does it have, I believe there is still an area of common ground that we may start from, that both Muslims and Christians believe in, respect, and love Jesus, peace be upon him. He is called in the Quran a prophet, messenger, Messiah, anointed or Messiah. He is described in a very tender way, especially in this surah number 19, as one who is blessed in this life and the hereafter, and among those who are nearest to Allah, the Creator. I hope that while we all understand that interreligious understanding and dialogues might involve varying degrees of emotions, I do hope, however, that all of us here, belonging to Islam, Christianity, or other ways of life for that matter, approach tonight's evening with a loving atmosphere and with an open heart and open mind. It is my privilege and honor to present to you the first speaker, Professor Floyd Clark. Professor Clark is of the Philippi Church of Christ in Creswell in the United States. He is a professor emeritus of the Johnson Bible College in Knoxville, Tennessee. Presently, he travels throughout the world looking after the church groups which belongs to his organization and the various mission services organization, and he is at present based in Knoxville, Tennessee. Professor Clark will be speaking for 50 minutes. Professor Clark.
Mr. Moderator, my good friend Ahmed Deedat, distinguished guests and friends, I am so grateful to be here and to participate in this most unusual dialogue. First, may I introduce to you some of my people. First of all, my wife Clara down here in front, Clara Clark. We are only married 5 months, and we spent part of our honeymoon in Durban and visited with Ahmed and his family and treasure those moments. With me on the platform also is Brother Richard Bourne, my host this week, and a former graduate, a former student of mine, a graduate of our school, and now at work here in London with the Barrett Church of Christ in Hendon, Brother Richard Bourne. Somewhere around here is the fellow that got this all started back in 1962. One of my other students was at work in South Africa and succeeded in getting Brother Deedat to agree to a public discussion over some of the things which he had said, and thus this man got launched into a ministry that has carried him worldwide.